Good day, class. Welcome to Res 11 Methods of Research. We are now here at Unit 4, writing of the Chapter 3 of your research proposal. In this video, we will talk about the parts of Chapter 3, then jump ahead with the first part, the research design, and we will talk about the importance why we write this part and how do we write this part. Chapter 3 is overall called your research methodology, and research methodology is the spine of a research. It determines the direction that your study will follow and the manner in which you would answer your research questions, how you would collect your data, and analyze your data. So in this unit, you will learn to write the overall of the third chapter, particularly the following parts: the research design, the locale of the study, the respondents, or we will change this to sampling design, your research instrumentation, data gathering procedure, and data analysis. So we start with research design. So from the term itself, design, it is a blueprint detailing what will be done and how this will be accomplished. So it is a framework of research methods and techniques chosen by the researcher. What is the importance of research design? So what do you observe from these images? In instances like this, you would utter, I'd like to see the blueprint for that. What could have gone wrong? So these are good examples of construction gone wrong. That is why we need to design first before doing something. First importance is it provides credible answers to specific research questions. So before doing a research, the researcher must have a structured plan and process for doing his investigation so that he will be able to answer his questions. So this scheme includes the overall process on what he will do from the initial conceptualization and formulation of the problem to the methods of data gathering and analyzing the data and drawing of conclusions from the findings. So from the template here, you will see that it starts with the objectives. I have here a specific objective, and then it shows you the method of data gathering, the instrument used, until how the data from gathered will be analyzed. Next importance of a research design is control or explain of variance. It also includes the anticipation of difficulties and strategies on how to overcome them. So a research conducted with a research design is just like a building without a floor plan. A frequently asked question is, what is the difference between research method, research design, and research technique? I have here a summary of these three so that we won't have any problems with these terms in the next videos. So research method is a general framework guiding a research project. So different methods can be used to tackle different questions. We have here the examples, and we always hear these qualitative versus quantitative methods. While research design is a specific outline detailing how your chosen method will be applied to answer a particular research question. So examples of this one are quasi-experimental design, descriptive survey design, and phenomenological research designs. So the difference between the two research methods are generalized and established ways of approaching research questions, like your qualitative versus the quantitative research methods. But not all methods can be applied to all research questions. So the choice of method is limited only by the area of research that you wish to explore, while your research design is a plan to answer your research question. On the other hand, your research technique is a strategy or a way of collecting data or to implement the plan, to implement your plan. It ensures that the data you obtain will help you answer your research question more effectively. We have here the types of research methods, and we have four classifications: the general, according to the nature of the study, according to the purpose, and according to the research design. You will see this in our handout, but we will just touch it a bit here in our video. And generally, we have two research methods: your quantitative and qualitative. And I bet you know already what that methods are. So in quantitative research, it's generally expressed in numbers or in graphs to confirm theories and assumptions. So under the quantitative research methods, the factual information is gathered through surveys, experiments, existing data, observations, and content analysis. While in qualitative research method, this is based on words, feelings, emotions, sounds, and other non-numerical and unquantifiable elements. And the research techniques used here are interviews, focus group discussions, case studies, and literature review. But now we have a method that mixes both quantitative and qualitative methods. We call it your mixed method, and it includes a combination of in-depth exploration and numerical measurement. According to the nature of the study, you can classify also according to the nature of the study. We hear descriptive research and analytical research. When we say descriptive, it describes, or it just describes what there is at present. And for analytical, you have already the facts there available, and you analyze these to make a critical evaluation of the material. On the other hand, the classification of research method according to the purpose or what it is for, in the study, we have applied research and your fundamental research. Applied research is commonly called action research. There's an action. You add to the basics of the discipline. For fundamental research or basic or pure research, this is actually the researches that we usually have in our college. This solves a problem by adding to the field of application of a discipline. And finally, the classification of according to research design. So we also hear this most of the time: exploratory study and conclusive study. So exploratory studies is to explore the research area, and they do not attempt to offer final and conclusive answers. As in conclusive studies, this provides final and conclusive answers for the research questions. So now that we're done with the types of research methods, we jump ahead to the types of research designs. And these are how research designs are categorized by Crow and Shepard in 2012. And there are too many designs that I love how they squeezed it in a single mind map. You will see that in the next slide. And hence, in this video, we will be only discussing the main differences of the designs because it won't fit a 15-minute video. I will then make a separate video for the research design so that it will be discussed in detail and with examples. So in the mind map, you will see there are 5 main branches. We have experimental, descriptive, qualitative, mixed method, and research synthesis. In experimental, you use this branch when you want a causal effect, cause and effect. That means you have an intervention. For example, you will be using a new module or a new drug. And of course, this is quantitative. Specific examples for this one is true experimental research design, quasi-experimental research design, and the single system research design. The next main branch is your descriptive or exploratory or observational, and this describes only what we have at the moment. So there is no experiment, there is no intervention, and this is still quantitative. Examples of this research designs here, we have cohort, case control, survey, developmental, normative, and case study. And then we have another main branch, which is the qualitative. So as we know, that method is based on words, feelings and emotions, sounds, and other. Specific designs here, your narrative, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, narrative case study. And then we have here the mixed method. So it's a mixture of both qualitative and quantitative. We have specific research designs here: action research, sequential, concurrent, and transformative. And finally, this is a new branch for me. It's the research synthesis. It is gathering of the secondary sources. So specific research designs here are systematic review, critical review, thematic synthesis, and meta-ethnography. So this is the mind map that I was talking about. So it has 5 main branches, and for example here the experimental, if you want to see the causal effect, you can use these designs. You have true experimental, quasi-experimental, and single system, and in each of the sub branch there's still a sub branch. That's why I need a separate video for this one. So for example, I have here the study entitled Effect of Learning Modules on Students' Attitude, Motivation, and Achievement in Biochemistry. And the research method that I'll be using, it's a mixed method because it's a combination of quantitative and qualitative research methods. The design that I'll be using, it's a quasi-experimental, it's a quantitative research method, and the research technique that I'll be using are tests, achievement tests. And another quantitative method that I'll be using is a survey. It's a descriptive survey where I'll be using survey questionnaires, and I will also be using documents, and I will be reviewing these documents. For the qualitative part, the research design is a narrative. I'll be interviewing key informants, and I'll also be having focus group discussions. So first, review your specific questions. For example, I have here, what is the user's performance before and after using the modules in terms of attitude, motivation, and achievement? And make a decision about how to collect your data. To answer these questions, you need to make a decision about how to collect your data. The time of data collection and analysis is something you want to consider. So an observation or interview method, so-called qualitative approach, helps you to collect richer information, but it takes time. Using a survey helps you collect more data quickly, yet it may lack details. So you will need to consider the time you have to research and balance between strengths and weaknesses associated with each method, your qualitative versus quantitative. So in here, I want the method of that data gathering or the research technique that I'll be using. I'll be using survey questionnaires for the attitude and motivation. And since I will cannot grasp everything through survey questionnaires, the real attitude and motivation of the users, I will also do a focus group discussion for in-depth answers. And for the achievement, to know the achievement of the users before and after using the modules, I'll be using an achievement standard achievement test. So I'll be giving these before the intervention, and after the intervention. Third is identify the type of data produced. So for survey questionnaires, the type of data would be quantitative. For focus group discussions, this is, of course, in words, this is qualitative. And for the tests, of course, that is quantitative. So next is to identify the suitable research design. For my example here, the research design that I want to use for the survey questionnaire is a quasi-experimental research design. That means that in the intervention that I'll be using, I won't be randomly choosing the respondents that will join the treatment group and the control group. And then for the focus group discussion, I want to use a narrative research design. And for the pre-test, post-test achievement of the students, I'll be using again quasi-experimental design. And then finally, identify the research method. So for in this example, for a quasi-experimental, this is of course experimental and it's quantitative. For narrative, this is qualitative. For quasi-experimental, yes, it is experimental and quantitative. And overall, the research method here is a mixed methods, specifically a concurrent mixed methods design. Finally, we go to this. How do we write the research design in your chapter 3? So first, read previous studies and researches to find out the most commonly and or effectively used methodological approaches to collect data. Remember that one of the purposes of your RRL is to help you with your research methodology. So you need to select articles with similar research questions as yours and list down the data gathering tools used, the research design, and the methods stated and their reasons why they use this. So step 2 is find out the time, resources, and capabilities you have that would enable you to carry out a research design better than the other research designs. So there are several factors to consider here, and from your readings, you will see the pros and cons and the strengths and weaknesses of the method as experienced by other authors. So not all forms of data collection are the same, and some are time consuming, others might need more labor days, while the rest might be expensive. So it is essential to base your decision after giving a thought to these limitations. So the last step is to write down the entire research methodological approach in detail and review. This is actually the easiest part to write. So you just state the research method or research design and then justify and state the data collection or the research techniques that will be used. So before I give an example of research design in your chapter 3, this is another chance for you to have additional points for your activity. And for your activity 4, the first 3 students that will share an image in our group chat of construction gone wrong will have additional 2 points for your activity number 4. So this is an example. We'll see how the research design is written. So the title of this study is The Effect of Learning Modules on Students' Attitude, Motivation, and Achievement in Biochemistry. So our first step is to state the method or the design used. So here you will see it's a combination of descriptive and experimental design. And then you justify why you use descriptive and experimental design. So you will see in the next few sentences, it justifies why descriptive research is used and while experimental research is used. And finally, the data gathering technique that is used for this research. So you will see here to further elicit the extent of attitude and motivation, focus group discussions will be used aside from survey questionnaires. So a frequently asked question, how long should this part be? So you will see in your template, and if you've seen other theses and if this example, we only have 1 paragraph for your research design. So in this video, we talked about what a research design is, the importance of research design, and how we write the research design in your chapter 3. So that's it for this video. We have, I think, 5 more videos for your chapter 3, and I separated it so that this won't be a very long video. Thanks for watching.